Hey everyone, so the video you're about to see about the iPad for study video, this is a video I made about a year ago now, soon after we entered the first lockdown and soon after the iPad model came out, the 2020 model. I know there's like a new model now, the M1, but I think that what I said in that video is still quite relevant for students today. Not much has changed in terms of how I would use an iPad, no matter what sort of specs it has. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe if that's what you're into. Peace, enjoy! Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be discussing how you can go from this to this. So guys, today we're going to be discussing the new iPad Pro, the 2020 model, which I recently bought, I think a month and a half now. Been using it practically every single day, all day, and we're going to be discussing 4 main reasons as to how I was able to justify such a lot of money. Because yeah, this thing is expensive, let me tell you that, and I appreciate that not many people can, as fortunate as I am to get one of these things. So this is why I say this. The iPad is a tool. It's going to make learning more enjoyable, yes, and potentially easier, yes, but only if you know how you learn, because you run the risk of buying something that you're not actually going to use, and that is a lot of money down the drain. So that's why the purpose of this video is to let you know in what kind of situations will the iPad Pro help you. The pros and cons, they're mainly pros, but I'm also going to take you through if I would do it again, what I do better. So letting you know of my mistakes so that you don't make them yourself. Okay, it's a lot of money, you just don't want to go and spend $1,000, and also insurance and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's begin. First point is online learning was a huge incentive to make me buy this, because now times are different, so we're not actually going to school anymore physically, which means we're getting emailed PDFs after PDFs after PDFs. Yeah, a lot of PDFs. Okay, and not just PDFs, other documents as well, so like Word documents and everything. And one way to facilitate online learning was the iPad, because you don't have to actually print stuff out anymore, and that has a huge number of benefits, some of which I will go into in a few seconds, in a few minutes. But online learning was a huge incentive for me. Of course, it's not going to last forever. We're not going to be like this forever. At least I hope not, because a lot of stuff, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. There are pros and cons, but mainly cons. So I needed something else that would, allow me to justify this. So online learning, that's it, one point. And the second point, number 2, is I needed something that would allow me to combine the experience of handwriting notes and the organization that a laptop brings. Handwriting your notes on paper is really, really good. It helps for retention, because handwriting is, for me at least, the best way of retaining information. But handwriting notes on paper causes the problem of this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what half a year of A-level did to me. Relax, it's not like that. Folders upon folders upon folders upon folders upon folders. Folders. If I want to show you, you want to see GCSE? Okay, I'll show you GCSE as well. This is GCSE. This is all GCSE. This is everything GCSE. This is my DT project, which was actually pretty cool. There we go. There we go. So, as you can see, folders upon sheets of paper. Look at this, like, what the heck? I didn't even know I had this. I mean, I'm never gonna see this again, and it's actually really useful right now, relevant, because I do maths, and I wish I had that on electronically. Look at that. Okay, that's GCSE. Okay, and this is half a year's worth of A-level, full folders, and more folders, and more folders, and more folders, more packs of paper. Right. Okay guys, what I'm here to tell you is that you do not need this. okay? The iPad Pro gets rid of all of that, okay? You don't need it. And I don't want to have to go through that anymore, anyway, because I've spent half of A-level handwriting my notes on pieces of paper, half of which I've probably already lost, okay? And handwriting notes on pieces of paper is not working for me. It just didn't work for me because I lose stuff. I am very disorganized in that area of my life. So one thing that the iPad allows is it mixes both experiences of handwriting notes, which is proven to be much better for retention and also storage, because I can shove everything on there. And the apps that I use, mainly Notability, it forces you to be organized. And the iPad allows that combination of writing your notes and storing them. I could use a laptop, but then you lose that handwriting ability and the versatility that handwriting your notes bring. The third reason is I'm a very visual learner, as you can see from the wall behind me. So from my notes, as you can see here, I make my notes very, very, very aesthetic. I'll just do some of him. So I like my notes to be very, very, very aesthetic. That way, when I look back at them, I'm made to want to look at them, you know, because if they're just boring notes, you're not going to want to look at them. If they're just lines of text going across from left to right, you're not going to want to read that. It's just a really, really big pain. One thing that Notability allows you to do is, of course, you handwrite your notes with the Apple Pencil, which by the way costs £120, but it makes that experience just a lot easier and a lot nicer, because you can be so much more creative. You don't have to carry out pencil cases, highlighters, different colours. It's all on one system, which is beautiful, I think. So let's see an example of biodiversity. This is stuff on sampling plants, right? And as you can see, this is so much nicer than a paragraph of text. Even on a laptop where it's actually legible, it's just horrible to write on. It's just horrible to read back, is what I mean. And as you can see here, look at that, I can actually have the diagrams that are in the textbook on my notes because you can scan them. There's an app called here, Adobe Scan, which is what I use. I sign in with my school account, and you can actually scan it and import it into Notability, which allows you to annotate them, annotate diagrams. And not only that, you can annotate PowerPoints as well. If your teacher sends you something, sends you your PowerPoint for the day's lesson, you can be ahead of everyone else, because what's going to happen is they're going to be busy printing stuff out. Everyone around you is going to be really, really busy sorting out the technicalities. The iPad Pro gets rid of that. Again, Notability allows you to just mind map and go crazy, right? Because as you can see from there, that's how my mind works. If I can see it, I can remember it, right? Again, it's different for everyone, but this is why the iPad is so useful for me. The fourth reason is speed and efficiency. I touched on this a couple of seconds ago. Let this car go by. Edit this out. Yeah. Oh my gosh, okay. Is it quiet now? Still quite noisy. Okay, right. Point number 4. Speed and efficiency. I touched on this just a while back because the iPad, it is incredibly efficient. It turns your study very, very fast, very, very efficient. You don't waste time anymore printing stuff out. Those days are over. You don't have to spend time taking notes off the PowerPoint, copying stuff from a PowerPoint anymore. You can actually annotate the PowerPoint. You have your own copy of the PowerPoint and you can just annotate it, make it easier to understand for yourself, instead of you wasting time as your teacher, professor, whatever, start scrolling through. You don't miss stuff out. It's there, and you can just annotate it. Annotate your lecture slides, annotate your presentations, and it is just so good. And also, the way I practice for exams, I revise. Yes, I make my notes, but I also practice. Practice is key to good success, to academic success, because you learn by making mistakes. And mistakes take time, right? So, because let's say you make a mistake, you're drawing a graph, you make a mistake, and you mess up, right? On paper, you'd be having to rub it out, making a mess on the table, ripping your paper, crumpling it all up, making a very unpleasant experience. But with the iPad, with Notability, you can, they're not sponsored by the way, you can make that mistake, you make the mistake, that's how you learn, but then you can just get rid of it really quickly and start again. That is the most efficient thing I've ever seen on any study medium like that. Mistakes are very valuable, okay, but now you don't have to waste time with them, which is, I assume which I know is very important in A-level life, where you don't have time for much, especially when you want to hit those top grades, which is understandable. But we can make it easier, we can alleviate some of that pressure, some of that stress by not wasting any more time. That is a very big reason. Speed and efficiency, which is what I like. So guys, that pretty much sums up the rest of the video. But on conclusion, okay, the iPad Pro is crazy expensive, I know. However, there are other options. There is the 7th generation iPad or the iPad Air. They're both compatible with the Apple Pencil. Yeah, I recommend you get the Apple Pencil, because especially when you want to handwrite notes. I mean, come on, how can you not handwrite notes without a pencil? You can try and use a finger, I guess, but it's just nowhere near the same thing. Yeah, you need the Apple Pencil if you want to handwrite your notes. In terms of protective cases, or just get a normal case, something that you can protect it, something that will allow you to just lob it in the bag and not have to worry about it, because you can't baby it. That will get in the way of you actually using it to its full potential. Screen protectors are important, I think. Again, to give you that little bit extra confidence that you're not just gonna bring it out one day and bam, massive crack there. But there is that thing that I would say one of the major cons of switching from paper to iPad is you're now writing with a piece of plastic on a piece of glass. One way to facilitate that, to make that a bit useful, is to get paper like screen protectors, things like that. Some links in the description. Again, they're not sponsoring this, but it will just take, if you don't want to go into that, because those can get up to about £30, 30, 40, 50 pounds for a screen protector, and it's a bit much, I believe. But it just takes a week to get used to. I mean, it's not that big a deal once you get past that barrier, because once you do get past that barrier, it just is amazing. My handwriting is a lot neater on paper now, because I'm now using the iPad, so my handwriting has changed. So there's that sort of element to it, but if I'm being honest with you, it's not that big a deal. So to conclude, iPad Pro is expensive. It's there, it works, it's good, it's very good, but if you're on a budget, because this is one of the best tablets on the market, no doubt about that, but look into something cheaper. Get the iPad 7th generation or the iPad Air, they work fine. The only problem I can see with that is that they're smaller, and so when you're multitasking on the iPad, which is again another very great feature, which I use a lot, you're there on a smaller screen, it's not very possible, it's not very fun to do that. So, and of course, Netflix. Yeah, the iPad Pro is an overpowered Netflix machine, if you want to put it bluntly. But I mean, I don't use that power. I don't need the power that it has. I don't need that processing speeds. The most pro app I use is Adobe Lightroom, and again, for the iPad, it'll work fine on anything, on iPad 7th gen or iPad Air. It'll be fine. So guys, thank you. This is the end of this video. Hope you liked it. Before you go, however, I have put together a little montage, little cinematic montage, I think you're gonna like it, of me using the iPad on a biology research project, I think it was. Yeah, it's just me, how I use it, how I'm showing you how Notability makes it so much fun to write, and the sort of things you can do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you for that. See ya.